That's a threat, by the way. That's the threat to William. That's the threat to Charles. That's the threat to Catherine. That's the threat to the British royal family. But wake up, Prince Harry, because that's the threat to you too. She has been taking notes methodically about your marriage for years.
For years, royal commentators have speculated that Meghan Markle was quietly building something far bigger than a podcast, a lifestyle brand, or even another documentary deal. Now insiders and media figures are increasingly pointing toward what they believe could become the most explosive chapter yet in the Sussex saga.
Meghan Markle's close friends have revealed that she has been secretly recording her autobiography designed to bring down the British royal family on her iPhone in voice notes for years.
A deeply personal memoir allegedly backed by years of private notes, late-night voice recordings, journals, and detailed reflections documenting everything from palace tensions to her marriage with Prince Harry. And according to some royal analysts, the real shock is not that such material may exist, it's the scale of what could allegedly be contained within it. The conversation surrounding Meghan's long-rumored autobiography has intensified dramatically in recent months, particularly as questions continue to swirl around the future of Harry and Meghan's California life, their strained royal relationships, and the apparent cooling of several major commercial partnerships.
Harry doesn't seem to understand that his life is going to be forever changed once he decides to do what he wants to do. And I know that is to no longer stay in California and to have his life back.
While the Duchess of Sussex has never publicly confirmed the existence of a memoir in development, entertainment insiders increasingly speak as though the project is inevitable rather than hypothetical. What has truly unsettled royal watchers, however, are claims that Meghan allegedly began documenting key moments years ago, long before the release of Harry's memoir Spare, and potentially even before the couple officially stepped away from royal duties during Megxit.
It's a threat. A publishing insider tells me. Voice notes on her phone at 1 a.m., no doubt after a fight with Harry, written journals, structured reflections. She has been documenting everything since before Megxit.
According to multiple entertainment and publishing figures familiar with elite celebrity memoir deals, modern autobiographies are rarely written from memory alone. High-profile public figures often preserve years of private material, including audio notes, digital diaries, text archives, and written reflections. In Meghan's case, commentators believe the archive could be unusually extensive. Some analysts claim she allegedly recorded voice notes at all hours of the night, documenting emotional moments, arguments, frustrations, and private experiences as they unfolded in real time.
Going back to when Meghan met Oprah before the wedding, that they had talked about an interview, and Meghan told Oprah the time is just not right yet. So that's when we saw the Oprah interview. But I think more was planned at that time, or actually later, when Meghan started talking to Oprah about a potential book.
Others suggest she kept structured journals specifically designed to preserve details she believed might later become important, whether personally, legally, commercially, or historically. And if true, that changes everything, because what once looked like emotional processing could eventually become strategic ammunition. For the royal family, the fear is obvious. A memoir built from years of carefully preserved personal material would not simply revisit public controversies. It could potentially reopen every major wound from the last 6 years.
And there is a threat there because Meghan knows in her pocket she's got a very heavy hand that she can play that is going to no doubt hurt the monarchy.
The Oprah interview, accusations of racism, palace disputes, media battles, Meghan's mental health struggles, Harry's family conflicts, security disagreements, royal protocol tensions, and alleged behind-the-scenes clashes could all be revisited with new layers of detail. But increasingly, commentators argue that Prince Harry himself may be just as vulnerable as the monarchy, and that is where the discussion becomes particularly dramatic. Several royal analysts believe Harry may not fully appreciate how much information Meghan allegedly possesses about their private life together.
So tell me, Prince Harry is happy again?
It's a massive, massive story. He's sneaked off to have lunch with friends. I think there's trouble in paradise.
During the height of their public battles with the palace, Harry and Meghan largely operated as a united front. Their interviews, documentaries, and public statements consistently frame them as partners, fighting against institutional pressure and media hostility. But relationships evolve. Circumstances change, financial pressure builds, public popularity fluctuates, and in Hollywood, personal stories are often inseparable from commercial opportunity.
Nicole Avant is said to have fostered behind-the-scenes chats about how such a project could be developed in partnership with, drumroll please, Netflix, as a structured, multi-part rollout tied to the book's release.
That is why some experts now believe Meghan's alleged archive could eventually become far more than a memoir about royal life. It could become the definitive inside account of the Sussex marriage itself. Critics of the couple have repeatedly pointed to Meghan's highly strategic public image management, arguing that she carefully controls narratives, optics, appearances, and messaging. Supporters, meanwhile, argue she has simply been forced to protect herself in an environment that was relentlessly hostile from the start. Either way, one reality appears undeniable. Personal storytelling has become one of the Sussex brand's most valuable assets.
And what's most nuts about all of this is that the information is emerging in a major new hit piece.
Harry's Spare proved the scale of the market. The memoir shattered sales records upon release and dominated global headlines for weeks. But publishing insiders believe Meghan's story could generate even greater worldwide attention for one simple reason: mystery. Harry already told much of his side. Meghan largely hasn't. There remains enormous public curiosity around what she personally experienced inside royal life, what she thinks about the breakdown with the family today, how she truly views key figures such as King Charles, Prince William, and Princess Catherine, and what really happened behind closed doors during the final months before Megxit.
But within this, that's where they drop the fact that this prize that they desperately want is Meghan Markle's autobiography, even revealing that Nicola Avant, who actually behind Meghan Markle's back is saying, I hate her, I can't stand her, but that she is negotiating directly with Meghan about how the autobiography would also roll out at the same time as a major Netflix series.
That curiosity represents enormous financial value. Industry experts increasingly speculate that if Meghan eventually publishes a memoir, it would not be treated as a normal celebrity autobiography. Instead, it would likely become a global multimedia event involving publishing houses, streaming companies, interview specials, magazine exclusives, and potentially even documentary tie-ins. Some entertainment insiders believe Netflix would almost certainly want involvement if such a project moved forward.
There are things she could say that would dominate headlines. Okay, another threat. Another threat. I mean, there's just threat after threat after threat. But she is weighing that against the bigger picture.
Others suspect Oprah Winfrey would pursue a major televised interview component, similar to the bombshell Sussex interview that shook the monarchy in 2021. The commercial potential is staggering. And that is precisely why some royal observers believe tensions surrounding the Sussexes may only intensify from here. One of the most interesting aspects of the current speculation is timing.
Then there's a whole load of stuff, P. Diner, which is designed specifically to appease Harry, right? And if Harry's stupid, he'll believe this. The timing, however, is complicated. Publishing plans are believed to have slowed in part due to the delicate question of King Charles and Harry's ongoing attempts, however tentative, to repair their relationship.
Several commentators believe Harry has quietly attempted to stabilize at least parts of his relationship with King Charles in recent years. Reports of occasional communication between Harry and the royal household have repeatedly surfaced, particularly amid the king's health challenges. A full-scale memoir release could complicate those efforts dramatically. According to royal insiders, the monarchy's greatest fear has never simply been criticism. The royal family has survived criticism for generations. The real concern is prolonged narrative warfare, an endless cycle of revelations, responses, counter-briefings, interviews, and media battles that keep royal tensions permanently alive in the global news cycle.
That's what this is about. And that is one hell of a threat, because she's actually gone further than she did in the cut. Do you remember in the cut she said, oh, well, I've got my diaries. This is so much more than that, P. Diner. Voice notes, journals, methodical collection of everything that has been going on. And do not tell me a lot of this will be targeted against Prince Harry, because I think it will.
A detailed memoir from Meghan could reignite exactly that, especially if deeply personal allegations or previously unknown private conversations were included. Some commentators have even described the rumored project as a form of insurance policy, a phrase that has circulated repeatedly among critics who believe Meghan intentionally preserved information in case relationships deteriorated in the future. Others reject that interpretation entirely, arguing that documenting one's life while under extraordinary pressure is completely understandable. Still, the intensity of the speculation itself reveals how unstable public perceptions around the Sussex story have become.
But
She
of
would
course it's
definitely
not.
use race as a way to get back at them and Harry.
Yeah, because
know.
why is every person mentioned in this article a black person? You know, why are the white allies like Kelly Zadjfen not mentioned? I think this is strategic.
Another factor fueling concern is Meghan's increasing focus on behind-the-scenes media development. Hollywood figures have claimed she has become increasingly interested in production, intellectual property ownership, creative control, and long-term content strategy. Rather than simply appearing on camera, she reportedly wants influence over how stories are developed, packaged, and distributed. That shift matters, because a memoir in today's entertainment landscape is no longer just a book. It can become a streaming property, a documentary series, a podcast adaptation, a live interview event, and a global branding relaunch all at once.
The reality is rather different and speaks of a far more strategic approach. For behind the glare and off the red carpet, she nowadays rarely walks, exists a network of women who have not only stood by her since Megxit, but continue to quietly shape what comes next.
And Meghan understands media attention better than most people in the royal orbit ever have. Critics frequently underestimate that. What makes the situation even more explosive is the emotional dimension. Commentators increasingly warn that if Harry and Meghan's marriage were ever to face serious long-term strain, the existence of years of alleged recordings and private documentation could transform a separation into a global media earthquake.
Not close friends in a social day-to-day sense. In other words, they're using her. Yep, totally.
Some analysts openly predict that any future split between the couple would instantly become one of the biggest celebrity stories in modern history, surpassing even the fallout from Harry's departure from the monarchy itself. That possibility explains why discussion around the alleged recordings has triggered such alarm among royal watchers. Because once private experiences become monetized narratives, there is virtually no limit to how far the public fascination can go. And unlike traditional royal scandals of previous decades, today's media ecosystem rewards constant escalation. Every interview clip becomes viral content. Every leaked detail becomes a headline cycle. Every emotional revelation becomes social media warfare.
Oprah's influence also extends into the couple's social calendar, shaping where Meghan is seen, and just as importantly, where she is not. I can reveal it was Oprah who encouraged Meghan and Harry to attend Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party on November the 8th last year, a lavish James Bond-themed soiree at Amazon boss Jeff Bezos' Beverly Hills mansion. The goal was for Meghan to rub shoulders with key power players, including Bezos himself.
For the monarchy, that creates an almost impossible challenge. The institution traditionally survives through silence, restraint, and controlled messaging. But the modern entertainment industry thrives on exposure, emotional transparency, and perpetual storytelling. Harry and Meghan crossed from one world into the other years ago. Now, according to growing speculation across royal media circles, the consequences of that shift may only be beginning. If Meghan truly has spent years documenting everything, every grievance, every argument, every emotional moment, every royal clash, every private conversation, then the future of the Sussex story may look very different from its past, because the next chapter may not simply revisit royal history, it could redefine it entirely.
What Meghan Markle's real goal is with this autobiography, and it's bad. It's bad for the royal family, it's bad for Prince Harry, and she needs the moolah.
Long before the headlines about fading Spotify deals, collapsing public approval ratings, and awkward red carpet exclusions, Meghan Markle understood one thing about Hollywood that many royal commentators overlooked. Survival in the entertainment industry has never depended solely on popularity. It depends on alliances. And according to multiple insiders familiar with elite Hollywood circles,
together they offer something far more valuable than that gaudy Monday night invitation to the Met. So again, it's like, we know Meghan wanted to go to the Met Gala, okay? We know she was desperate for that invite. Can you please not describe it as gaudy? Like, yes, I think it's a gross display of Hollywood excess, but we all know Meghan Markle would have been there in a single second. And is Meghan Markle now really suggesting that Anna Wintour and Venus Williams and Nicole Kidman are gaudy? Give me a break.
Long before the headlines about fading Spotify deals, collapsing public approval ratings, and awkward red carpet exclusions, Meghan Markle understood one thing about Hollywood that many royal commentators overlooked. Survival in the entertainment industry has never depended solely on popularity. It depends on alliances. And according to multiple insiders familiar with elite Hollywood circles,
the Sussexes still want to be seen as above the celebrity fray. I mean, okay, pause. Are you kidding me? This is, again, so stupid. You're hanging out at a celebrity party where there are paparazzi outside, and then you're saying that you want to drop the photos from all the picture agencies because you want to be above the celebrity fray.
Meghan has spent the last several years carefully positioning herself inside one of the most influential celebrity ecosystems in America. A network built around media executives, billionaires, producers, political donors, streaming power brokers, and image architects capable of reviving careers, controlling narratives, and generating global attention almost overnight. At the center of that world sits Oprah Winfrey. The relationship between Meghan and Oprah fundamentally changed the trajectory of the Sussex story in 2021.
The same calculation applied to the wedding of Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, which took place in Venice last June. The couple were invited but chose not to attend, not because of any feud, but because they knew it would be a media storm and they would be called opportunists.
Before the now infamous interview aired, Harry and Meghan were already controversial figures, but they were still largely viewed through the lens of royal rebellion and celebrity fascination. After the interview, they became something much larger, global political and cultural figures capable of dominating international conversations for weeks at a time. That interview did not simply damage relations with Buckingham Palace. It transformed Meghan into a permanent player in America's media landscape. And insiders say Oprah's influence on Meghan's post-royal evolution has remained significant ever since. The two women reportedly live only minutes apart in Montecito, California, one of the wealthiest celebrity enclaves in the United States.
And even Meghan Markle's mother, Doria Ragland. So what is so hilarious about this, right? Is that like, oh God, we need black people. We need black famous people supporting Meghan. Okay, Tyler Perry, yep, they're not talking anymore, but he's sort of there. Gayle King, we all know about that. Oh, and I know Meghan's mum. Meghan's mum. Because do you notice, every single person that they are saying support Meghan in this article is a black person. They're not talking about anyone in Meghan's world who is white. So that's why I believe there is a race undertone here.
Montecito itself has quietly become a major power hub where billionaires, executives, political donors, actors, and media moguls interact away from the constant chaos of Los Angeles. Unlike Hollywood's traditional paparazzi-heavy culture, Montecito offers privacy, controlled access, and carefully managed social circles. That environment has allowed Meghan to build relationships away from cameras while maintaining connections to some of the entertainment industry's most powerful figures. Among the names most frequently linked to Meghan behind the scenes is Nicole Avant, the former U.S. ambassador and wife of Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos.
First of all, I just can't believe that these women are really trying to help Meghan, because if they were, Meghan would never have failed in the beginning. Like, it looks like she's just saying things that she wants to happen.
For years, Hollywood insiders have speculated about the true nature of Meghan's connection to the Sarandos network. The Netflix deal signed by Harry and Meghan after Megxit instantly became one of the most discussed celebrity contracts in entertainment history, reportedly worth tens of millions of dollars and intended to position the Sussexes as major content creators. But the relationship has often appeared unstable. Several Sussex projects underperformed commercially, criticism intensified, and questions emerged about whether Netflix still viewed the couple as long-term assets.
So then we come to what this is really all about. And again, I sort of feel sorry for Dominic Hines because maybe she doesn't understand that she is being played here as well. And she writes, there is the project that sits behind much of this alignment. Yeah. It's the money project. I've said this from day one. It's why people are still hanging around.
Yet despite repeated rumors of tension, Meghan's access to elite Netflix circles has remained surprisingly intact. That is where Nicole Avant becomes important. Avant is deeply connected across entertainment, politics, philanthropy, and business. Her father, Clarence Avant, was one of the most influential figures in the music industry for decades, often referred to as the Black Godfather because of his extraordinary influence across media and politics. Through both family connections and her marriage to Sarandos, Nicole Avant occupies a uniquely powerful social position inside Hollywood. Commentators increasingly believe Meghan recognized the strategic importance of that relationship very early.
Meghan has realised that her solo projects aren't working. It's my understanding, and my royal insiders are telling me, that she's all out now.
Public appearances involving Meghan and Avant have repeatedly attracted attention, particularly at high-profile Netflix gatherings where the two women appeared unusually close. Industry figures claim Avant has often acted as a stabilizing bridge between Netflix leadership and the Sussex brand during periods of negative press or commercial uncertainty. Whether motivated by friendship, business, optics, or long-term strategy, the relationship matters because Netflix still represents the Sussexes' most powerful media platform. And Netflix remains obsessed with one thing above all else: exclusive global content capable of generating worldwide conversation.
Including when she was still a member of the British royal family. And guess who's behind all of this? Oprah goddamn Winfrey.
That is why speculation around Meghan's rumored memoir has become so intense inside entertainment circles. Executives understand the commercial value immediately. A royal insider memoir tied to a streaming rollout, interview special, or documentary adaptation could generate massive engagement globally. Unlike traditional celebrity books, a Meghan project would operate across multiple industries simultaneously: publishing, streaming, television, digital media, social platforms, and international news coverage. In other words, it is exactly the kind of media event modern entertainment companies chase relentlessly.
The relationship, a person familiar with their dynamic tells me, has at times been emotional. Oh, God. There have been moments when Meghan has been overwhelmed by the pressure, the collapse of commercial deals, the constant tide of negative headlines, and Nicole Avant has been there.
Another name repeatedly linked to Meghan's Hollywood orbit is Shonda Rhimes, one of television's most powerful producers and arguably Netflix's single most valuable creative partner. Rhimes built an empire through Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and later Bridgerton, becoming one of the few producers capable of consistently delivering enormous streaming audiences. Her connection to Meghan has fueled endless speculation. Then, while there is little evidence of a deep personal friendship, insiders believe proximity to Rhimes carries enormous symbolic value inside Hollywood. Meghan's critics often portray her as isolated and commercially weakened. Association with Rhimes challenges that narrative because Rhimes remains one of the industry's most respected gatekeepers. The same applies to Melody Hobson, the Ariel Investments executive and former Starbucks chair, married to Star Wars creator George Lucas.
I don't understand, but maybe these women will rally around Meghan, support her to make it look like they want to help her. But that's going to be it's not going to be a good thing for the monarchy at all.
Hobson represents something slightly different within Meghan's network: corporate credibility. Unlike actors or celebrities, Hobson is viewed as one of America's most influential businesswomen. Her expertise centers around ownership structures, investments, intellectual property, long-term financial strategy, and institutional influence. Industry figures claim Hobson has privately advised Meghan on business development, brand positioning, and content ownership, areas that have become increasingly central to Meghan's post-royal identity. That matters because Meghan's ambitions appear far broader than entertainment alone. Over the last several years, she has repeatedly attempted to position herself simultaneously as a media producer, a public speaker, a philanthropist, a luxury lifestyle figure, a feminist voice, a cultural commentator, and a commercial entrepreneur.
Sources say Meghan wants the book to be both a record setter and a reset, telling her version of events while also charting her success in America. She does not want it to be a book of grievances, one insider tells me. She wants it to reflect where she is going, not where she has been. I mean, that's not what an autobiography is, so this is just nonsense.
Few celebrities attempt to occupy that many lanes at once. Even fewer succeed. But Meghan's supporters argue that her determination to maintain relevance across multiple industries reflects strategic ambition rather than confusion. Critics see something else entirely, and they argue that Meghan's Hollywood relationships are often transactional, built less around genuine friendship and more around mutual utility. In elite entertainment circles, proximity itself can function as currency. Appearing connected to powerful people creates the perception of influence even when projects struggle commercially. That dynamic became especially visible during speculation surrounding events like the Met Gala and the lavish celebrity wedding celebrations involving Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. Questions around whether Meghan was invited, excluded, strategically absent, or intentionally avoiding overexposure triggered weeks of media debate. But behind the gossip sat a more important issue: status signaling. In Hollywood, invitations matter because they reveal where someone sits within the power structure. The Sussexes have spent years trying to navigate a difficult balance between royal prestige and celebrity culture.
But it's also financial too, P. Diner, because Dominic Hines then goes on to say the value of that material is obvious. A memoir for Meghan would not just be a book, it would be a multi-platform event with global publishing rights, an interview special, and there you go, the interview special. That's what Oprah wants, right? And a streaming component. That's what Netflix wants.
On one hand, they benefit enormously from association with elite American entertainment circles. On the other, they have repeatedly attempted to position themselves as morally and socially distinct from superficial Hollywood excess. That balancing act has often created contradictions. Attending celebrity gatherings attracts criticism for chasing fame. Avoiding them fuels speculation about social rejection. Remaining publicly neutral becomes almost impossible because every appearance is interpreted politically, commercially, or strategically. Meanwhile, Oprah's role continues to loom over everything. Unlike many celebrities, Oprah operates less like a performer and more like an institution. Her endorsements carry extraordinary cultural weight, particularly within American media. She has the ability to legitimize public figures, redirect narratives, and create events that dominate global conversation. Many commentators believe Oprah immediately recognized the scale of the Sussex story long before most executives did. Not simply as royal drama, but as a billion-dollar content ecosystem. Interviews, streaming deals, documentaries, books, speaking engagements, lifestyle branding, political influence, public sympathy, social activism, international media cycles.
I'm quite blown away by all of this because Prince Harry must be like, what? What? They're plotting this now behind my back?
The Sussex saga became commercially valuable because it merged celebrity culture with monarchy, race, family conflict, wealth, power, trauma, and institutional rebellion all at once. Very few stories generate that level of emotional and commercial overlap. That is why Meghan's Hollywood network matters so much. Even amid criticism, negative press, failed launches, and declining popularity in some markets, she has retained access to circles most celebrities never even approach. Access does not guarantee success. But in Hollywood, access often determines whether reinvention remains possible. And many insiders believe Meghan is already preparing for her next reinvention now, not as an actress, not simply as a duchess, but as a long-term media power player with enough connections, controversy, and cultural visibility to remain impossible to ignore. When Prince Harry released Spare, the memoir immediately became one of the biggest publishing events in modern royal history. The book shattered sales records, dominated global headlines, triggered political debate, and reignited tensions inside Buckingham Palace almost overnight.
Meghan has been documenting for years.
But despite the scale of that release, many publishing insiders now believe Meghan Markle's eventual memoir could generate even greater worldwide attention. And the reason is simple. Harry already spoke. Meghan still hasn't fully told her side. That unanswered curiosity has become one of the most commercially valuable elements of the entire Sussex narrative. For years, Meghan has remained comparatively restrained when it comes to long-form personal storytelling. Aside from the Oprah interview, selected podcast appearances, documentaries, and carefully managed public conversations, she has never delivered a complete chronological account of her experience inside the royal family. That absence created a vacuum. Royal audiences still want answers about what Meghan allegedly experienced behind palace walls, how relationships with senior royals collapsed so quickly, what happened during the final months before Megxit, how she viewed media hostility, and what really unfolded inside her marriage during the chaos of their royal exit. Unlike Harry, who focused heavily on his childhood trauma, military experiences, and relationship with the press, Meghan's perspective carries a different kind of intrigue.
Meghan's autobiography. For years, it has hovered as a rumor, occasionally acknowledged, never confirmed in full detail. She has, according to those familiar with the process, and thank you, by the way, because this is confirming what I have been reporting to you for years, been taking notes for years. Not casually, but methodically.
She entered the monarchy as an outsider, American, biracial, divorced, Hollywood-connected, and already familiar with celebrity culture long before becoming a duchess. To many observers, that gives her story a completely different emotional angle. Industry experts also believe Meghan's memoir would likely be far more strategically structured than Spare. Harry's book often felt deeply emotional, impulsive, and intensely personal. Meghan, by contrast, is frequently described by critics and supporters alike as highly image-conscious and carefully calculated in public presentation. That difference matters in publishing. Insiders speculate that Meghan's project would almost certainly be designed not simply as a memoir, but as a global multimedia rollout involving interviews, streaming partnerships, magazine exclusives, and coordinated publicity campaigns. Netflix would likely play a major role, particularly given the company's long-standing investment in the Sussex brand. There is also widespread belief that Oprah Winfrey would pursue another high-profile interview if Meghan ever chose to publicly revisit royal life in detail. And commercially, the numbers could be enormous. Harry's Spare succeeded because readers wanted unprecedented access to royal life from someone born inside the institution. Meghan's memoir could attract an even broader audience because it combines multiple narratives simultaneously: royal conflict, celebrity culture, identity, marriage under pressure, media warfare, Hollywood ambition, and personal reinvention.
Meghan is desperate. Meghan is the one who is desperate.
That crossover appeal is extremely rare. Commentators also point out that Meghan's memoir would arrive in a very different global climate than Harry's. Public attitudes toward the Sussexes have become more divided, criticism has intensified, and speculation about the future of their marriage continues to grow. Every new interview, appearance, or business move now generates immediate worldwide scrutiny. In that environment, a memoir would not simply become a book release. It would become a global event. And perhaps most importantly, many royal analysts believe Meghan still possesses the single most valuable thing in modern media: untold information. As long as the public believes there are still hidden stories, private conflicts, unrevealed conversations, or emotional truths waiting to emerge, interest in Meghan Markle's next move will remain massive. That is why so many people inside both Hollywood and royal circles believe her eventual memoir could eclipse Spare entirely, not just commercially, but culturally. Because Harry opened the door, but Meghan may still be holding the final chapter. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is only getting more intense with every new development surrounding Harry, Meghan, Netflix, and the royal family. Do you think Meghan is really preparing the ultimate royal memoir? Could it be even bigger than Spare? And what would happen if more private details ever came out? Subscribe to Crown Clash for daily royal news, exclusive drama, major palace updates, and the freshest developments from the world of the royals, celebrities, and Hollywood power circles. New videos and stories are uploaded every single day, so stay tuned because this saga is far from over.